What's going on, knuckleheads? This is George with Fighters Rep. If you like to talk about combat sports, be sure to click the subscribe button below, like, comment, share. It would be greatly appreciated. This is our Valentina Shevchenko versus Liz Carmouche 2 post-fight reaction, discussion, and as expected, as we predicted, and it wasn't a hard prediction, so I'm not going to take a lot of credit for it, but Valentina Shevchenko, the pride of Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, came out there in Montevideo, Uruguay, which is amazing. It's amazing how far the proverbial tentacles of the UFC have reached. They're in Montevideo, Uruguay, but nonetheless, she came out. She did what she typically does. She put on a striking clinic, and as soon as Carmouche even tried to get her to the ground, Shevchenko was easily able to handle her. She's just an absolute beast. I've got Ivan Calderon and Don Elvergudo in the chat. Big shout out to all the humanoids. Ya tu sabe que el UFO ya aterrizó. Big shout out to all the humanoids. Thank you guys for joining the chat. But yeah, I mean, it was to be expected. And Ivan Calderon is in the chat saying that Valentina es una bestia, is a beast. And she is a beast. She's just an absolute beast. And in women's MMA at this point in women's MMA, Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, and then you go down a few stories in the proverbial building of talent, and then you've got the rest of the women in women's MMA. I mean, nobody can hang with Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes, and nobody can hang with Valentina Shevchenko other than Amanda Nunes and vice versa. And the only reason that, they're probably not worth them fighting each other all the time is because I think Shevchenko is naturally the slighter fighter, the smaller fighter. But I mean, that's the most competitive fight you're going to be able to make in women's MMA, unless, Cyborg, which who knows what's going to happen with that situation now with all the drama with Dana White, but unless Cyborg comes back somehow and is able to do a much better job than she did last time against Amanda Nunes, then that's the fight to make. I just don't see anybody that's going to be able to give Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko any problems at all in women's MMA. And, despite the fact that the UFC did a great job marketing women's MMA, there isn't the talent pool there. It's just not there. And I kind of speak from firsthand experience as a promoter myself here in California, the Mecca, ladies and gentlemen, of combat sports, especially here in Southern California. The pool of female talent, unfortunately, is just not as strong as I would like it to be. And, hopefully the fight game keeps growing. People keep getting interested, maybe signing on to this channel and other channels, and seeing how amazing the fight game is and what it does for people's lives and how it brings entertainment to people's lives and, so on and so forth. And maybe we can make a change there. But, it's not there yet. So back to Valentina Bullet Shevchenko, just a fantastic performance as usual. She just doesn't waste any movement, any energy. She's so efficient. She's so fast. She's so technically sound. I mean, you have to be absolutely perfect to beat her. If you're anywhere near her size, you have to be absolutely perfect. And I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Besides the fact that she's basically, the manifestation of a character out of the Dead or Alive video game series. I mean, she's just incredible. She's unbelievable, especially when she does that little dance after she wins a fight. It's just, it's hot. I mean, I don't say that in a sexual way. It's just hot. It's fire. It's amazing to watch what she does. She's speaking like, I don't know how many languages in that ring. I mean, this is a special human being, and to beat her, you're going to have to be special. And Liz Carmouche is a good fighter, but she's not elite. She's not special. And to beat Valentina Shevchenko, to dodge that bullet, you're gonna have to be special. It's not going to happen easily. So, she basically won a 5-round decision today. It was easy work for her. She was hyper efficient as usual. Striking was on point. No knockout. The knockout didn't happen. But, still a fantastic performance. She did knock Carmouche down, I think, once or twice in the fight. But, just technically a superior performance. Not much more you can ask for if you're a fan of technique. Obviously, if you want a little more action, it wasn't the most action-packed fight. But nonetheless, I mean, she's a marvel to behold. And I like to watch her fight. So what happens next? What happens next? Is UFC making Amanda Nunes fight? Who knows? They asked her after the fight what she wanted. She said, I'll fight anybody in here. You bring them on, I'll fight them, whether it's Amanda Nunes, whether it's somebody else, I'll fight them. So, she's not afraid of anybody. So, it's wonderful having a champion like that. It's not afraid of anybody. And, the cool thing is, I mean, they did this event in Uruguay, and she speaks Spanish. I was kind of interested as to why they didn't do it in Peru. Maybe, I don't know. Have they done a card in Peru? Maybe they wanted to try Uruguay. I don't know. And they did have that one fighter. I think his name was Gagarillo or something like that. Forgive me if I slaughtered his name, but he was a native of Uruguay, and he fought on the card. And obviously, the crowd had a huge reaction for him. But I would have liked to see the card maybe happen in Peru, since my understanding is I think Shevchenko spent some time or trained there or lived there. And there was also a Peruvian fighter on the card. That would have made a lot of sense. But, either way, it's cool. Shevchenko did a great job as usual. We also had Mike Perry and Vicente Luque go at it in the undercard, and that was sick. That was absolutely sick. Luque won that fight. That was basically for me the most exciting fight of the evening to look forward to, besides the main event. And that's basically it. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. You guys tell me what you think. What's next for Shevchenko? What does she do from here? She just absolutely runs through everybody. And is there anybody even going to be able to give her any sort of problems in her division? Is there anyone in the women's MMA in any division other than Amanda Nunes that can give her any sort of problems? Turning it over to you guys. Let me know what you think. And just before we do that, I remind you, please feel free to donate in the chat below in the links, or purchase your Fighters Rep t-shirts or merchandise. Anything you buy, the majority is reinvested right back into the promotion. And we'll be back live right here on YouTube September 21st for Fighters Rep 8 Gorillas. It's going down. It's going to be a sick card. We had 17 fights last time. We're going to have more this time, hopefully. So it's going to be, a long night of fights, action-packed, stand and bang. I think it's the most exciting rule set in combat sports. And it'll be live on YouTube if you can't make it and purchase a ticket to Seal Beach near the Los Angeles, Orange County area. If you can't make it, you'll be able to get your fix right here live on YouTube, where we air our fights. So let's look into the chat and see what's going on here. We've got Marco Martinez, as usual. Big thank you for joining the chat, brother. He says, totally agree that the top two are miles above. And he's referring to Amanda Nunes, and he's referring to Valentina Shevchenko. And it's just such a huge gap, Marco, between these two women and the rest of the pack. It's just such a huge gap. It's almost like, John Jones in the light heavyweight division. It's like that, at his most dominant. I mean, it's just, there's such a gap there. I guess not so much anymore. That's not the best analogy right now, because guys are coming up now. But just, I don't know. I don't even know where the other competitors are that are going to be able to deal with an Amanda Nunes and a Valentina Shevchenko. We'll see what the future holds. Hopefully the sport keeps growing. They're in Uruguay. They're expanding. They're opening up these performance institutes, and and China and Puerto Rico and Mexico and all these other places. Let's see what the world comes up with. I'm sure it'll come up with something. I mean, there's always someone better out there. So we'll see what'll happen now. Don Elvergudo, thank you for joining the chat. Chico, ¿quién tú crees que es mejor, la UFC or Bellator? So he's asking me, young man, who do you think is better, UFC or Bellator? I always got to go with the UFC on this one, man. I got to be honest with you. I think the UFC is better. El UFC es mejor because the UFC has the best of the best. You can't even compare Shevchenko, Amanda Nunes, and the talent in the UFC, especially in the women's division, but also in the men's division. You can't really compare it to the people over at Bellator that readily. I mean, basically the guys who leave the UFC for Bellator are, typically guys the UFC is willing to cut. So, I mean, in my opinion, or guys the UFC is not willing to keep. So in my opinion, there is some talent there. Some of the guys are high level, but overall, you got to go with the UFC being the best, in my opinion. That's just the way I see it. I mean, you don't have anyone that can beat John Jones in Bellator. I don't think you have anyone that can beat DC in Bellator. You don't have anyone that can beat, I don't know, guys like Henry Cejudo. And I mean, there's some monsters in the UFC. So I just don't see it. I don't see anyone in Bellator or overall when you look at the talent pool. I don't see it comparing. I do think there are some guys that obviously would have a lot of success and could maybe even be champions, but overall, you got to say that the UFC is a much higher level promotion and a production as well, in my opinion. Don Elvergudo, the Justin Bieber and Amanda Nunes would be a good B-word fight. I don't want to say bad words on here because YouTube is going to ban me. But yeah, that would be hilarious. I wouldn't want to see that. Amanda Nunes would absolutely destroy Justin Bieber. It would be a massacre. They would need to have like 3 ambulances on hand, and it would not be worth watching. Marco Martinez, Vulcan did look well tonight. Looked strong. Vulcan did look good. I like Vulcan. I like his whole shtick. I'm running out of time. I need to get you out of there. The thing with Vulcan, though, is he going to be able to kind of get over that hurdle? When he gets to the top, he loses. And not even the top. I mean, he lost to, was it Anthony Smith? And obviously he got worked by DC, which, not a lot of shame in that. But if he's going to be a champion, he's going to have to get better. He did beat up Latifi tonight really bad. Really bad. But, Latifi is a smaller guy in that division. He's almost like a blown up middleweight or something. So he looked good. Latifi's a strong guy, and I don't take anything away from Vulcan's performance. He did a great job. But is he going to be a factor in that division? I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to watch him. I think he's fantastic to watch. He finishes the people he's capable of finishing, and that's always awesome to watch. Marco Martinez, or actually Pimp Duck, thank you for joining us, my man. Not a very entertaining fight, but I'm glad Valentina kept her belt. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't absolutely, entertaining or anything like that. People were actually booing at one point. But, yeah, Valentina kept her belt, and I don't see anyone taking it away for a long time. Marco Martinez says, the next big star is developing. Joanna looked unbeatable, but Rose was slowly developing. Ronda was a killer, but Nunes was growing. It will be interesting to see who blossoms out of the pack. It will be, and you're right. The way you put it there, it kind of makes me rethink what I'm saying here, that Nunes and Shevchenko are so far above the rest, but man, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They just look so good. They're so well rounded. It's just, I feel like it's going to be hard to beat them. You know, it's going to be hard, but we'll see. I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, some of these fighters came out of nowhere. You're right that Joanna looked unbeatable, and then Rose beat her, and then look what happened to Rose. You know, so you never know. Pimp Duck says, and I think it was up to Liz to go get the belt from Valentina. She didn't engage enough. I agree with that, Pimp Duck. She definitely didn't engage enough. Pimp Duck also says, LOL, 3 ambulances for one guy. And that's me talking about if Justin Bieber were to fight Amanda Nunes, he would need 3 ambulances. Yes, 1 for his head and 1 for his torso and 1 for his ass, because she'd tear him apart. He would not make it through there in one piece. Boxing. Thank you for joining the chat, brother. Much appreciated. It's saying Vicente Luque is a monster, but he gets hit too many times. Well, you know, he did get hit, but man, what is it, a 6-fight win streak he's on now? The guy is just on a tear, you know, and yeah, he gets hit a lot, but, you know, he seems to be able to take it. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. I'm interested to see what happens next for him. I mean, 6-fight win streak, just beat Mike Perry, you know, in a very entertaining fight. He's a very tough guy. I think he will be rewarded for his services. And so, you know, that's pretty much all we've got in the chat right now, guys. I don't want to take too long. I've already been on this for about 17 minutes, but I want to thank all of you for tuning in. We will be doing this, as you know, every Thursday. We give our prediction at 9 p.m. Pacific. We come back immediately after the big fights that are happening. This weekend wasn't big. I still got to go back and watch, what's his name? Virgil Ortiz, the boxer. I was really excited about his fight. I got to go back and watch. I'm not sure if it happened already or if it's already done. But I'm definitely going to check that out. I recommend you guys check him out as well. He's a beast. Also, be sure to click the subscribe button. Again, donate or purchase your Fighters Rep merchandise. It's all reinvested right back into our show. And tune in September 21st right here to the channel for live kickboxing, stand and bang rules. It's awesome. There's no clinching. It's going to be Fighters Rep 8, Gorillas. There's no clinching. Guys got to stand and bang it out. And for me, it's the most exciting rule set in the fight game. So definitely tune in and check it out. If you're anywhere near the Los Angeles or Orange County area, you can buy tickets. Tickets are on sale now at the bio link on our Instagram page. It'll be up on fightersrep.com as well pretty soon. Also, please follow us on social media. Your presence, your thoughts, your opinions are always much appreciated. If you didn't catch this live stream, please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And we'll be connecting again soon. Oh, I'll also be trying to do at least one interview with a fight game personality for you guys a week. I'm thinking of getting Chris Lieben on next. It looks like he'll probably be on Wednesday. So definitely look out for those videos. I'll be doing at least one a week, hopefully, on top of the discussions that we have immediately after the fights and our predictions on Thursday nights at 9. So thank you guys so much and have a fantastic evening.